When homeowners are thinking about the retrofits that they should consider in their homes, that list is going to vary some depending on the age of the house, the location of the house, the climate that the house is located in. At the same time, universally, the first thing that a homeowner should consider doing is the air sealing part of the house, both in terms of the amount of energy lost. In typical older houses, as much as 30% of energy is lost through the air loss of the house. And the other reason for doing it is just strictly for comfort. What we find in many houses, if you go in and ask the homeowner, they can always tell you where there's an uncomfortable room or an uncomfortable corner of a particular room because of the type of drafts that you have in that area. So if you can fix those air leaks and make the room have a uniform air temperature, or the whole house have more uniform temperatures, then it's often found that you can set the thermostat back a few degrees because you're not trying to compensate for that cold corner in the room. So we do the air sealing first. And another reason for doing air sealing first before you do adding insulation to the attic is you do want to do very careful air sealing in that attic plane, because there are a lot of leaks, the vent pipes for the plumbing, electric wires that go up there. In many cases, the air duct systems go through the attic, so those penetrations, all those need to be sealed. Once you've done that, the next logical step is additional insulation. Attic insulation is quite easy. Blow that into the attic plane and increase the depth of the insulation. In an existing home, wall insulation is more challenging, but if we look at opportunities, if you're planning on replacing siding, then you can do like was done at this house, where you take that exterior siding off and you just replace insulation top to bottom in the exterior walls, and in this case add even board sheeting of insulation sheeting beyond that, which gets you a really nice tight, airtight wall and a very high RFI wall. If you're not going to replace the siding, then there are techniques that can be used to blow insulation into those wall cavities by taking off just one section of siding and blowing it into each of the cavities. That's quite labor intensive, but doable and good return on the investment there. After you've made the envelope tight, well, there's one other piece of the envelope we should mention, and that's doors and windows. If the windows and the doors are not too old and they're sealing fairly tightly, then it's probably not going to be cost effective to replace those. But if they are in the range of 15 to 20 years old, or they're single glazed with aluminum framing, they're obvious targets for replacement. In this case, you want to put a low E window in with a good insulating frame. One of the problems that a lot of the window salesmen will try to sell you things that are not necessarily rated. There is the National Fenestration Council that has a rating. You'll find little etched in the glass in the corners that gives a rating on those products. So for homeowners, they need to make sure that they are buying those products that are certified to be energy efficient. So once you've made the envelope as good, well-performing as you can, that's from there. Then you start to look at your equipment. I would say that one other step which you just do because it's easy to do, and that's replacing lighting fixtures. Compact fluorescents, or now, as demonstrated in this house, the new LED appliances, those are going to be coming into the marketplace very quickly. Those are even more efficient than the compact fluorescents. And the prices are coming down to the point where they are cost competitive, not only because they're lower first cost, but especially where they're hard to get to, like in the ceiling here, those solid-state lighting devices will last for years, so you don't have to try to get up there and replace them. So the duration of the convenience and other reasons why you'd want to use them. So lighting, then from there you start looking at equipment. And equipment has a 15 to 20 year life, so you can anticipate that happening. And if you install those units that are, now that you've made the envelope more efficient, you can buy a smaller unit and a more efficient unit and put it into the house. Obviously, those events when you're remodeling a kitchen, You want to replace the appliances with your most efficient Energy Star products. Same with clothes washer and dryer when you replace those. You don't have to replace everything at once, but if you look at the quality and age of the different components in the house and then plan accordingly, you can step through this and do a complete overhaul of the house over a period of, say, 5 years and end up with a house that's not going to be quite as efficient as this house, because this was a well-planned, integrated process, but you can certainly get 30 or more % improvement in your house through those planned sequence steps. Well, one of the things that's interesting about this house is it is one of the projects that we're doing this year with our Building America Consortium, in this case the Stephen Winter Consortium. And so they are going to be monitoring this house. There are always questions when you make changes to a house of, do you really get the energy savings you anticipated from that? So this house has been well instrumented, and we'll be monitoring over the next year to determine which measures worked, which were more cost effective in terms of energy savings. And at the same time, what we're going to be doing is looking from what we learned in this house to try to discover how we can effectively apply the lessons we've learned here into vintage houses of about the same vintage in other parts of the country. We are in discussion right now, maybe doing something in Florida this next year for the Builder Show down there next year, with trying to find ways so that we don't have to do as much analysis and testing when we start the project, that we have a pretty good idea because we've characterized the houses by their age and basic construction characteristics, and can just, by looking at them and a very quick walkthrough, determine what are the things that one should do to that home to do the most cost-effective improvements to those homes. We've been doing retrofit through a program called Home Performance with Energy Star with the EPA over the last 6 years. We're getting up to the point where we're doing about 10,000 retrofits a year. Challenge for us, because of that 120 homes that need to be repaired, is to find a methodology where we can reach out and get homeowners to participate in our programs so that we can do 3 to 4 million homes a year. That way we'll get through the process of refitting all of the homes that are out there and get them on a cycle so that every 10 to 15 years we'll do a new upgrade of the homes through this step process that I've been talking about. The Home Performance with Energy Star program is a program that instead of certifying equipment like we do with appliances and put the home the Energy Star logo on the appliance, because homes are so different, it doesn't make sense to try to certify a home, but rather what we're doing is certifying the contractors. So the contractors are trained, they take tests and both written tests and field testing to make sure they know how to do the evaluation of the home properly and to do the work that needs to be done, and also to maintain a very tight quality control process so that they can replicate the work that they're doing. From that, then, there's a high level of confidence that those contractors will be able to deliver what they promised to the homeowner. Any homeowner who wants to do retrofit in their home, I highly recommend that they go to the website and Google Energy Star, Home Performance with Energy Star, and then from that they'll be able to identify contractors within their communities who are certified to do this type of work. Really great to have been a part of this project over this last year and to see what can be done when there's this very aggressive set of planning with skilled scientists that are working on it. And we look forward to learning a lot through this next year of monitoring about the performance of this house and how these different pieces can be brought together and effectively deliver a net zero type of energy savings to the home.